Happy Friday. Awesome. Yeah, tonight the theme is a couple stories and a couple tunes. Yeah, so this first song, you've never heard me play here. Actually, you've never heard me play because I just decided 2 days ago to use it. Sweet. But I was, this past year with COVID, there was literally a 3.5, almost 4-month period where I couldn't play my guitar at all. And I literally did not think I was going to be able to play again. My fingers are still not where they need to be, but as soon as that happened, I actually bought a harmonica. I got to figure out a way to get the notes out of me. Yeah, the songs, each of the tunes I have tonight, they have a memory of some sort. And so this first one, I want you to just close your eyes and see what you see. As soon as you hear it, you're going to go, but it's just a beautiful melody. It's simple, and music is the way to. It points out other parts of your spirit, and so we'll start with this one, okay? What came up? What kind of thoughts or memories came up as you listened to that? Yeah. And the thing, the melody is simple. Most things in life you can break them down into being simple, and so that's a melody that it's just you can't help but not feel like a kid. There's just something about it. Does that make sense? Awesome. yeah, growing up, oh, it's starting to go the other way. That's funny. Yeah, when I grew up, my brother was in a very well-known rock band in the late 60s called the Wanderers. And they used to practice at the house. And my mother, she used to sing in choir. And my dad, he could not sing a lick. He was the most unmusical person I've ever met in my life. He'd be singing in church, and he'd be about a half step off from everybody else, and he's the loudest. And so it was always fun when he would sing in church.
He had heart though, you felt it.
Oh yeah, he had heart, but that wasn't going to get him a gig. Great guy, and as some of you know, my dad just recently passed. And so when I went to school, I went to school out in GIT out in California, in Hollywood, California. And I never really get a chance to talk about this. Are there any kids in the room? Alrighty then. Okay. Well, I'll tell at least one of the stories. So I was living in Hollywood, and at the time, a bunch of us were practicing our guitars like 12 to 15 hours a day, and then when it would come to Saturday, we'd stop practicing at about 6 o'clock. And then we'd grab some food, we'd go over to this one guy's house, and we'd go there and party and watch Saturday Night Live. Well, now I'm going to tell you something. At the end of the night, I have to tell you, I was high. I was totally lit up. I'm 19, 20 years old, walking down Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, my head is down, I'm walking, and then all of a sudden I hear, freeze! I went, oh God. I look up, and I'm surrounded by police officers with their guns drawn. I'm going, oh no. It turns out I walked right in the middle of a robbery at a gas station, but I was so high, I didn't know what was going on. And so when the cop said, freeze, I froze, and he said, you, keep walking. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to get arrested. And I just kind of kept walking, and that was it. Boom. But it was kind of a scary moment. Just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, it was for about 30 seconds. It caught right back up. I can't tell you the other story though. Okay. I don't know. This is really risque. Oh my gosh, do I tell this story?
We're not going to think any different.
We love you, so.
Yeah.
Okay, this was my first gig. First paid gig. Tommy Tedesco. Oh, I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. Is this being recorded?
You can change. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can change your name.
Yeah, we don't need any names for this one. But I was in the school where I went. It was like the second year that it was open, and I was the only classical guitarist. So out of about 200 guitarists, and one of our teachers comes in. His name's Tommy Tedesco. He's played on more albums and movie themes than any other guitarist alive. He's the most recorded guitarist, and he was one of our teachers. He comes in the room and says, "Hey, where's the classical guitarist?" And I raise my hand. He says, "Come on out." So I step out of class, and he says, "Hey, I got a gig for you on Sunday." I said, "All right, cool." I said, "How long's the gig?" He says, "Probably won't go more than 15 minutes. I went, "Okay, where is it?" He said, "Beverly Hills." I said, "Okay. What's it pay?" He says, "What do you want?" I went, "Okay, this is a trick question. What do I want? I'm 19, don't have any money. What do I want?" I said, $100. And he went, "Got it." So I arrived at this huge, I don't know if I should tell this. Okay, well here it is. This is just a real thing that happened to me. Please forgive me. So I pull into this huge mansion, and there's a note on the door that says, "To the guitarist, please just come in, sit in the chair in the foyer, and start playing." All right. So I sit down, And I'm like, I don't hear anything. And so they just wanted strictly classical guitar. So I start playing a little bit of Bach. And as I start playing a little bit of Bach, I start hearing something from the bedroom. I'm going, uh-oh. As I started playing more, they got louder. Maybe I should have finished this one. Yeah, the cat's in the bag and the bag's in the river. Yeah, it turns out, after a few minutes, they said, that was great, your money's on the table, have a great day. That was my first gig. Played for some people in the other room. Never saw them, but I never told my mother that story.
That's good. I love it.
Anybody pass out on that one?
No. I think you're so cool.
A little fragile. Have you ever heard of the keyboardist Doug Taylor here in town? Anybody know Doug? He's been in town for a million years. He actually sent me this track initially. I didn't know what it was. I was never a follower of Sting. And so when I found out what it was, I was like, wow, this is really, really awesome. And also, any of you out there, if you want to film, feel free to film and post. Just tag me. Okay? Yeah, this is something you haven't heard me play. I'm going to play some Vivaldi with an orchestra tracks. When I was around, I don't know, 11 years old, on Sunday morning, I always got up early. I discovered this channel from Yale, because where I lived, it was right outside of Yale in New Haven, Connecticut. And I hear this guitar with the piece I'm about to play for you. I went, that has got to be the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard. I mean, I hadn't really listened or heard any other classical guitar. I hadn't started studying that yet. And what's funny, with that, can you hear me okay? Yeah. With that, so that was, gosh, that was ancient times. That was like 209 BC when I was doing that. But during the summer of 1984 and 1985, they had the summer concerts with the New Haven Symphony, and I wanted to play with the symphony on the concerts. They had 50,000 people. So I was like, okay, how can I convince the New Haven Symphony to hire 2 unknown guitarists to play with them at the largest day? And I said, well, they're going to be playing on the Madison Green. I said, I know somebody in Madison. So what I did is I went to the board that was hiring. I said, so you got a concert series coming up? They said, yeah. I said, I understand they might be having guitar. They went, really? I said, yeah, you know what, I'll talk to them. So I go to the New Haven Symphony. I said, hey, I was just talking to the Madison concert series, and they're talking about having guitar. I said, why don't you have us? We got all this. And so I actually talked my way into playing with the New Haven, because the New Haven Symphony said, well, they said they were going to have you, and so I kind of did a little finagling, but it was well, such a great moment. My dad, my mom and dad were there, and he was standing at the edge of the concert stage. There's 50,000 people, and it was awesome. So this piece I heard when I was 11 years old. It's the second movement from a guitar concerto, an orchestra. So we'll give it a little play. As I said, just a couple stories, couple tunes. Is that beautiful? Yeah. So that's part of the second movement. And that was one of the songs that totally lit me up when I was a kid. I mean, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and we didn't listen to Vivaldi in my neighborhood, but I was. It was kind of strange, and those were the days. How many people had record players where you could stack the records on Yeah, I would go to sleep with 6 records, and I'd always end it with Bach. Bach seemed to be the thing I like listening to. Okay, this next one, this is kind of in honor of Chick Corea. How many people have heard of Chick Corea? He was just one of the greatest jazz pianists of all time, incredible educator and improviser. I kind of wonder, like, if he was living today, he'd be like the Johann Sebastian Bach of today, because Bach was actually a great improviser. And this next piece, people always give it reference to its Chick Corea tune, the very beginning, but it's taken from a composer by the name of Joaquin Rodrigo. He wrote the Guitar Concerto de Aranjuez, and the beginning of this is part of the second movement from that Guitar Concerto, and then after he does that slow intro, then he goes into this whole other thing, and you'll get it. But this is my way of saying hi to Chick, because Chick died not too long ago. a scene in The Deer Hunter where there's this just beautiful piece of guitar work. It's written by Stanley Myers. And it turns out my guitar teachers were the ones that played. John Williams and Tommy Tedesco were the two guitars on this cut. And so when I play this, I think about the movie, but I just the lyricalness of the song. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song. I guess I was a freshman, and I just started studying classical guitar. No, actually, I was in 8th grade. I wasn't in high school yet. Getting in a lot of trouble. I was the one that was always bouncing off the walls in school. And my Spanish teacher said, she goes, "I have tickets for Andre Segovia. Would you like to go?" And I went, "Who's Andre Segovia?" And so she explained to me that that was, at the time, he was like the greatest classical guitarist that ever lived. He literally put the guitar on the concert stage. And he developed a lot of the techniques pertaining to how classical guitarists play. Classical guitarists usually play with a footstool. And so, I was like 11 or 12 years old. And it was at Lincoln Center, Avery Fisher Hall, full crowd, 2,000 people, no microphone.
And at the end of the concert, I go down to the stage and I jump up on the stage, and I wanted to see his footstool, so I pick up his footstool, and a stage manager comes rushing over and he says, "Hi, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I just wanted to see his footstool. I just thought that was really cool." He goes, "Well, would you like to meet the maestro?" I went, "Sure," not realizing the impact it would truly have on the rest of my life. So right then, everybody's piling out at Avery Fisher Hall, and I yell across Avery Fisher Hall to my teacher and my brother. I said, "I'm going to meet the old guy." It was funny, at that time, he was about 60, and it dawned on me as I was thinking about this story, I said, "I'm now the old guy." And so he invited me backstage, and he said, "Maestro, there's a young guitarist that would love to meet you." And I went over to him with my ADHD. I said, "Oh, that was great. That was really, really cool, man. I love the way you stared at that guy in the front because he was coughing too much. And that was really cool. Did you see Led Zeppelin last night in the garden?" And he looked at me and he says, "No electric guitar." I said, "Well, can I have an autograph?" He said, "Yeah." So I put up my arm so he would sign my shirt. And he says, "We don't do shirts." He goes, "Get him a record." So he gets me one of his records. He signs his record. And he goes, "Maybe one day I'll get a chance to hear you." The month I was supposed to go play for him, it was 1989, 87, 88, something like that. A month before he passed away. So I never got a chance to play for him, but that impact from that first time I saw him was magical. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And I'm going to play a piece by Francisco Tarrega. He was like the Eddie Van Halen of the early 1900s. And this was a piece that Segovia played in the first concert I heard him play. It's a simple little piece, but it was one of the first pieces I also heard as a kid. I said, "God, that is sweet." And so it's a little prelude. We could all use a little sunny, huh?
Christmas in July. I heard this on a cruise back in like 2007 or 2008, and I said, I gotta learn how to play this tune. And I believe it's called Playing for Time. It's got kind of an odd rhythm in the middle. which is from 6 to 9. This next song, I got a call to play a convention for 1,000 women. And this is the song, one of the songs I played, and at the bridge, they all started singing. It was just kind of cool the way it happened. Here we go.
Is that what you mean?
Are we supposed to sing?
Are we gonna know it? We know it, right? You gonna say? You guys ready? Okay. He was kind of leading us on there, so. Baby, what you done to me?
Okay, this next song, in the late 70s, everybody grew up hearing this band. And then, about 3 years ago, I was looking for another guitar, and I saw on Craigslist a guitar that I was looking for. I go over to the house, and there's like 5, 6 guys, and they're all monster players. I'm going, who are these guys? It's like, and then I start hearing them, I'm going, oh my gosh, for real? I'm sitting in the living room of the Gypsy Kings.
Oh.
And
Big time.
yeah, that was kind of cool. And so we were hanging out, we jammed a little bit, and so when I wanted to play this next song, I said, let's do the Gypsy Kings version. See if you know this one. depends on what's going on with the pandemic.
Yeah.
I got a couple things that are possible, but that would be really awesome.
Yeah. Great. Let us know, please. Yeah, let us know.
Oh, yes, please.
right before the pandemic, I went over to Giada's on the Strip. It's on Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. And the room, it's just the most beautiful room. And I went, oh, that would be great. So I went there, and we were talking about doing, I was going to come in for an hour or two on Sunday to play. 3 days later, the pandemic happened, shut down the Strip. So I went in there this past week, and we're talking to them again. So yeah, that would be a great place. Another place I'm talking to is Fogo de Chao. You ever eaten at Fogo de Chao? Oh my Lord, what a great restaurant.
Where is it?
Fogo de Chao is on Flamingo. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. Oh.
Have you a website?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah?
Have you a website?
Yeah. Are any of you on Instagram?
Nope.
If you're on Instagram, I post a lot on Instagram, and I go ROBBY LeBLANC 1. I haven't been updating my website this past year. I think I need to do that. But boy, I want to play this song for you. What I love about this song, I don't know if I played it here or not, but I heard this in 6th grade, and I was madly in love with Nancy Clore. She was like a whole foot taller than me. I was the shortest guy, she was the tallest girl, and I was in love. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this song. So when this song came on, I remember asking her to dance, and I'd come up to about here on her, and I was just in heaven singing, dancing to this song. And so think about the person you'd like to dance with on this one. I love this. I'll be there, Michael Jackson. Squeeze the stuffings. there. And that was kind of a funny thing with Vicky. We, at any given moment, like we'd be in Walmart in the underwear section, and a song would come on Over the Top, and if she turned to me and she'd say, "Dance with me, darling." And so we dance in the middle of Walmart in the underwear section. Come on, have you ever done that? Try it sometime.
They would never go for that, but I try all the time.
That's funny.
He will never go for that. I know right now.
I don't see David.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tape it the next time we're
I
there.
would love to see it though.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good TikTok stuff I
Yes,
have.
it is, yeah.
Yeah. What's TikTok?
It's our future, Robbie.
Yeah. This next one, I think we can play just one or two more tunes here. When Vicki had, about a month before Vicki had passed, I put out a call on Facebook and asked people to send cards, physical cards, to get well. And literally in about 2 weeks, we got about 600 cards from around the world, literally. But then there was this one box. I opened it up and I see it's from Boulder, Colorado. I opened it up and the cover letter said, "Dear Robbie, I'm a second grade school teacher in Boulder, and I saw your post and I showed it to my kids, and my kids decided to make cards for you. They made me 50 different cards for Vicki, and I read every single one of them to her. So, gosh, about a year later, it was May, first week in May, and I called the teacher and I said, "Hey, listen, I'd like to come play for the kids." I said, "I'm thinking like June or July." She goes, "School's out." And I said, "Well, when?" She goes, "Well, can you come Friday?" Literally, that was Monday. I said, "Yeah." And so I booked the flight, flew to Denver, and one of the kids in there asked me if I could play this song. And I said, "How do you know this song?" And he says, "It's my dad's and mom's favorite." So I think you'll recognize this one. Bryan Adams, and it was a movie, Juan DeMarco. Very wonderful movie.
Do you feel like doing a drawing, or you want to do it?
Yeah. You know what?
Right.
Did you pull them all
Right.
together?
Yeah.
Awesome. They all have numbers? I was going to do that.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait a minute.
Use the white line.
Okay. 633 69 1 0. Bingo. Nice. We'll chat. I'll give you my number.
I love it. Look at that.
So you got me for 2 hours.
Wow.
After it kind of comes down a little bit. Okay.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
All right. We're gonna do a little Marvin Gaye. Get up and move your body.
got some things I need to work on from a recovering standpoint. And next time when I come to play, I've got a bunch of finger style things that I'd like to play for you too. So once again, thanks for coming out.